Welcome to Unity on the Avenue Spiritual Center on this glorious Mother's Day. And I just want to say thank you, mothers, for all the work that you do out there in the world, and the grandmothers, and all of us who have given our life to love our children. We know how complicated that can be at times and how much worry we've had at times, but it is such a blessing. And so I bless each one of you mothers out there today. So today I would like to just say thank you. Thank you so very much for all of your tithes and your gifts. They're really helping us out during this time when we're not meeting in person. And so we are grateful for them. There's a couple of ways that you can give. And first is just to stick a check in the mail. I know a lot of you have been doing that, and thank you. Second is to go to our website, www.unityontheavenue.org, and hit that orange donate button, and it'll walk you through it. Third way is to download the Give Plus mobile app, and you can give that way and just choose Unity on the Avenue and set up your account. And the last way is that you can simply text to give, and that text number is 833-755-5507. So we bless your gifts, we bless your offerings, and so let us say our blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we know that as we give, we create that space to receive all the divine good that is ours. I would like to now start our service with our statement of faith, which is there is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Again, thank you for joining us this morning. I am Reverend Susan Gumm. I'd like to introduce Pamela Weng and Gregg Wilkins, our percussionist. So thank you both for being here. And so let us begin with our opening song.
This song is an original that I wrote several years ago based on the Beatitudes, and I came across it this week when I was looking for music to do, and it seems like the words, the lyrics just are especially fitting for what we've been going through lately.
Blessed are the humble in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are the mourners, for they will find comfort. And blessed are the lonely, for they shall reign the earth. And oh, what a blessing, Lord, blessing upon blessing. Shower us with blessings, blessings for the world. And oh, what a blessing, Lord, blessing upon blessing. Shower us with blessings, blessings for the world. And blessed are those who are hungry, who thirst for justice and equality. For those who show mercy will mercy be shown, and pure hearts will see God, will see God. And pure hearts will see God, we'll see God. In the face of every baby, in the face of all the earth, and pure hearts will see God, will see God. And pure hearts will see God, will see God. And blessed are the peacemakers, we're called the sons of God. And oft we've been suppressed for the truth's sake. But there shall be, oh, theirs will always be, heaven's land in our eyes make. For those who show mercy will mercy be shown, and pure hearts will see God, will see God. And pure hearts will see God, will see God. In the face of every baby, in the face of all the earth, pure hearts will see God, will see God. Yes, your heart will see God as you are God.
Thank you, Pamela. That was a beautiful song. We have such creative musicians in our community. We are truly blessed by them. So we are in our second week working on the book, The Gentle Art of Blessing by Pierre Prodervand. And we have been working on this book for a couple of weeks. And I just love the practice that this book is giving us week after week. So this week we are working with chapters 5 and 6. And the chapter 5 is the law of right action, and chapter 6 is on the golden rule. So I want to begin this morning by just reading to you from page 63. Pierre says, "Blessing those who attack us in any manner, in word or deed, truly constitutes impenetrable armor and prevents the arrows aimed at us from wounding us inside, even if we are touched physically. For the minute we are clothed with love, such blessings express, we are no longer at the mercy of outside circumstances, people, forces, or events." Now, I just love the way that he puts this so precisely for us. And think about it. How many times have you been around a person who has confronted you, and the first reaction that you have is, this defensive reaction that our body creates for itself. And what we are learning to do in this art of gentle blessing is to be able to be in the moment and truly bless someone. Truly be able to stand in unconditional love. Now, just pause for a moment and think about a time when you were personally attacked. Maybe accused of something that you didn't do. Maybe it was an argument with a spouse or partner, or friend, or sibling. And reflect for a moment on how you responded in that conflict. Did you shoot arrows back? Probably, because as we grow and we learn and we evolve, we learn to be gentler with ourselves and with others. So last week, we talked about the practice of blessing people as we pass them by in our cars, blessing our friends and our neighbors, blessing prisons as we drive by, and blessing hospitals, that kind of thing. And that's pretty easy, isn't it? It seems very easy because when we drive by a hospital, let's say, and we send a blessing to that building, and we are blessing the doctors and the nurses and all those people that are working in the building, when we are blessing the patients, they are still faceless to us. We don't know their story. Where it gets difficult for us is to bless people who really aggravate us, annoy us. That is the hard thing. Now, I know because I myself am not always very gracious in the moment when confronted, or when accused of something, or when I'm annoyed with something that I hear on television. But it reminds me of stopping and pausing and using the practice of radical forgiveness. You see, the words of our master teacher Jesus are really important because he shifted the way we began to think about things. So on the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, "So you have heard that they've told you to love your neighbors and hate your enemies." That was the old way of thinking. And then he said, "But I tell you to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." What a shift in consciousness that is. To go from an old way of thinking of the eye for an eye to a new way of thinking where we are really standing in unconditional love. Well, that's a hard thing for us to do, to stand in unconditional love. Now, I know when I am in the moment and I might react to something versus responding to something, one of the most powerful things that I say are Jesus' most profound words, the words from the cross, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. What if we, in the moment, can just say, "They know not what they do"? You see how that changes? And so we know that the universe is energy. All of the universe, everything is energy. So how are we moving that energy makes a difference. So in his book, Pierre talks to us about how even the smallest thing that we do takes energy. So when you brush your teeth, you're using energy. Even if you're sitting in a chair watching television and you go to pick up the remote, you are using energy. But what Pierre says is the most powerful energy ever is our thoughts. And we know this. And how we can change our thoughts is through this practice, this art of blessing. And when we bless, it has to come unconditionally from our hearts. It is difficult, I know, when we hear things politically, when we hear things that are against what we believe in, to turn around and bless someone. But it is imperative that we begin to practice this, because we are moving energy when we are angry. We are moving energy even when we're just annoyed. And why do we want to feed that energy into the collective consciousness? The only way to change that is to change our thoughts, to be responsible for our own thoughts, and to begin to practice blessing. Now, one of the things we know is that a lot of us use the greeting Namaste with a slight bow in our hands together. Namaste is really a powerful way to shift energy. So when we say Namaste, in the Hindu tradition, it means the sacred in me honors the sacred in you. And when we put our hands together at our heart center, we are literally centering ourselves, our mind and our bodies, and our hearts. And when we slightly bow, it is showing the other person that we honor them. So when you begin a conversation with a namaste, as is in the Hindu tradition, you are honoring them automatically. You are showing respect automatically for a person, and you're changing that whole energy. If there was a camera on you when you were doing that, even if the person was like this, when you were doing that, they would see a shift in energy, a shift in the aura. That is really important. So the idea of the hands together at the heart center comes from the yoga practice pranayama. And prame means life, soul, or to pay respect for, or to. And asana means seat, or seat of the soul. And so together it means we are moving that life force in a good way. Now, the person that I admire the most who can practice this gentle art of blessing is the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama himself has seen and experienced much suffering. In 1959, when the Chinese government took over Tibet, he watched as his people were killed, brutalized. All sacred texts were destroyed. Temples were destroyed and defaced. And yet, the Dalai Lama has shared continually how much he has moved into forgiveness. Because you see, he does see that divine in the other, which is our second principle, that we see the divine or the Christ in each individual. And the Dalai Lama actually practices this. As a matter of fact, in many books that he's written and many interviews that he's done, he says, "They are my brothers and my sisters." This is unconditional love. And when we love unconditionally, we have no judgment. That has to fall away. So the Dalai Lama said, if I develop bad feelings toward those who make me suffer, this will only destroy my own peace of mind. But if I forgive, my mind becomes calm. If we forgive, our minds become calm. It's the same thing when we practice this art of blessing. It shifts that energy so that we are feeding into a higher consciousness of love. Now, we all know that love is a regenerating force. and that hate destroys. So why do we choose sometimes to be in hate and anger? Why not choose to be in love? And I don't mean like human kind of, oh, I love you, which is good. I mean a deeper kind of love that is respect for life, all of life. Respect for others' ideas, others' opinions. We may not agree with them, but we can learn to respect one another more. In this time of pandemic, we have seen how connected we are. And I want you to begin to think about the energy that we're expelling and where we're going to go. We talk about this each week because I want to be reminded of where we want to be, not where we are today. So in chapter 6, Pierre talks about the golden rule. And what he says is that, the golden rule is do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. But he has changed that up a bit where he says, think of others exactly how you would like them to think of you. Think of others exactly as how you would like them to think of you. Wow. Do you want someone to think of you as an angry, bitter person? Or do you want someone to think of you as a loving, peaceful person? How are you reflecting yourself into the world? Reminds me of the story in Exodus of the Pharaoh in Egypt. Now, the Pharaoh in Egypt had a hardened heart. We remember the story. And 10 plagues were thrown on him by God. 10 plagues. So I'll just run through them. The first one was the plague where the water was turned to blood. The second one was the plague of the frogs. The third one was the plague of the gnats or the lice. The fourth one was the flies. The fifth one was the livestock all got sick and died. And then the boils. And then the fire and hailstorms. And then the locusts. And then complete and utter darkness. And finally, the last one was the death of the firstborn children. Now, in this event or this story, we remember that after each and every plague, the Pharaoh had an opportunity to say, yes, I will let the people go. And he did not. Until the very last plague that affected his own household, and his son died. Then he finally said, I will let the people go. So when we look at this metaphysically, what I want you to remember from the story is not the story about, how could God do this, because we don't believe in a God who could be destructive. But to look at this metaphysically and to remind ourselves of how we move into such resistance, how we harden our own hearts. So let me use an example. Let's say you go to the doctor and you get a physical. And the doctor looks at you and he says, well, you have high blood pressure and your cholesterol's a little high and you're overweight. So you better start changing your lifestyle and eating better and exercising. And you go, great, doctor, I'll be glad to do that. And you go home and you don't do anything about it. You just don't. And then all of a sudden, time goes by and you're maybe feeling a little breathless as you start going up the stairs and you notice you don't have as much energy and you go, oh yes, my doctor reminded me and told me that I needed to change my lifestyle and diet and exercise. I should do that. But you don't. And then something big happens, like a heart attack. And all of a sudden, through this major event, you are aware of all those things that you should have been doing and didn't do. And now you're ready to change. Now you're ready to change because you want to extend your life and eat better and diet and exercise. It's the same way in our spiritual life. We say, I am going to meditate for 10 minutes a day. I am going to be in that presence and connect. And then you don't. I am going to not engage in the negativity in the world around me. I am going to bless it. But then we don't. And so that is the story. That's how we look at it. So we have these choices all the time to say yes versus not doing anything. And when we step into it and we say yes, then great things unfold for us. I'm going to close today by reading on page 71. Now, he shares this story that a friend told him. And it goes like this. At the bottom of the worst criminal hides a daughter or a son of the Creator, ignorant of their divine origin. Only love enables a person who feels at fault, or on the contrary, who is totally convinced of the rightness of their position, to change it. When one is on the defensive, it is very difficult to modify one's point of view, for one only thinks in terms of survival, be it the survival of the little ego or some material privilege. Think about that for a moment. How is it that we think we are so righteous sometimes? That someone else is so wrong? You know, none of us have all the answers. We need to allow ourselves blessings to us, forgiveness for our own things that we have done or said, as well as blessing others. So practice, 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 practice as we go forth. Just remember, every time you bless, you are changing the energy. Every time you're in a conversation, even with a clerk in the grocery store, and you think those words, Namaste, when you're looking at them, you are changing the energy to peace, to love, and to centeredness. And so that is the way we wish to live. Let us pray.
Namaste, namaste. The light in me greets the light in you. Namaste, namaste. The light in you greets the light in me. There's a glow deep inside. It has no beginning. It has no end. The greatest gift we could ever find. Let it shine, oh let it shine. Let it shine, oh let it shine.
And just breathe into that. Namaste. The sacred in me honors the sacred in you. Move down into your heart space. That space that is filled with love and peace. And this morning, this day, we just say thank you. Thank you for the realization of this peace that washes over me, that I can choose to step into in any moment. God so loves me. And just as that, God so loves you. And that energy and that power of God, the Creator, loves all of life. All of life is sacred. From the insects to the animal world, to the plant life, to us humans. Let us this day honor the sacredness of life. Let us choose in every moment to be present, to love. Let us promise our hearts to feel that love, unconditional love, love without judgment. Let us begin to walk on this earth, respecting, honoring, and loving. So take that into the silence of your heart and breathe. The sacredness in me honors the sacredness in all, in the silence. We are all sacred vessels. And we can invite love to move in to this vessel. We can invite that light of life, of divine energy, to move in and flow through us and as us. And in knowing this and in claiming this, we can say thank you. Thank you with a heart that is so filled with gratitude that it is overflowing. Thank you, divine presence. For love encompasses all and overcomes all and can be all. And so it is. We claim this, we know this, and we become this. And so we say thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Amen and amen.
Namaste, namaste. The light in me greets the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. The light in you greets the light in me. There's a glow deep inside. It has no beginning. It has no end. The greatest gift we can ever find. Let it shine, oh let it shine. Let it shine, oh let it shine.
Let it shine, let it shine. So I just want to share with you a couple things that we are doing here. Of course, we continue to do our Wednesday meditation via Zoom at 4 o'clock. So if you'd like to join our meditation, it's about a half an hour. Just pop onto the Zoom. The link is on our website and in our newsletter, and you can do it that way. The second thing is I want to invite all of you to join our study group Sunday at 11:30 for the next 6 weeks. And we will be working with the book, The Gentle Art of Blessing. And we will have a discussion group. I can make you into small groups, and we will be able to do that. So the link for the Zoom is on the screen. You can take a picture of it with your phone, or you can go to our website or to our newsletter and click on that link. Now, this is a link that you register for the class or the gathering, and then we'll all come together. So I look forward to seeing you at 11:30 each Sunday for the next 6 weeks as we get to see each other and be heart to heart together and enjoy everything. So with that, I want to say Happy Mother's Day again, and Namaste. The sacred in me greets the sacred in you. And now we'll do our closing song.
I'm going to share a very familiar song with you today, which you'll recognize as being Shower the People with Love from the wonderful James Taylor. And I have changed almost all of his lyrics, so I hope that he'll forgive me for that.
They say in every life a little rain must fall to bring the soul to bloom. Just look at your source and stay the course. Let your soul shine after the rain. 'Cause we create what's true with every thought we think. So speak what you want to see. The answer is love, let it rain from above and wash off all of the pain. And shower the people with love, sweet love. Show each other how we feel. Things are gonna be just fine if we only will. Shower all people with love, my friends. Show the world how to heal. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. So give thanks for every drop of rain that falls, knowing blessings are coming to you. Just watch how nature sings and around you wings as your dreams come into bloom. As you shower yourself and all people with love, show the world how to heal. Things are gonna be much better if we only will. Shower all mothers with love, sweet love. Show them how you feel. Mothers of the world need love if we only will. And shower yourself and all people with love. Show the world how to heal. Things are gonna be much better if we only will. Things are gonna be just fine if we only will.